So, whew. He got
Chip,
mad at me. He was defending his territory one time when I was driving my car on the mall because I needed to drop off a bunch of groceries from the restaurant depot, and he didn't take kindly to that. So I haven't been his friend since.
Chip, I have big plans once the pandemic is over to come with a couple buddies. We're going to do a relay swim of the Maui Channel there.
Nice.
I'm excited.
You got to be sure to take everybody else with you, John.
Yeah.
Is that a coffee bean farm, Chip?
It is. It is. That one's actually
Beautiful.
it's just a little ways from where I live. It's like we get all of our coffee from there. It's Kaanapali Coffee Estates. And yeah, it's pretty big. I'm not sure, but there's a lot of coffee, and I figured I'd do that kind of to. I was up taking a bike ride. I ride my bike up there. They got all kinds of dirt roads and stuff around there, and I ride my bike up there all the time. So I thought that maybe you guys might enjoy that.
I know I should get a better background than with me and my fly swatter here.
Well, this way I don't have to keep my office clean.
Yeah, where do I go here? Settings, what do I do for my background? There we
Hey,
go.
John, all the attachments were all like a week old, I think, unless I'm just misinterpreting them.
I didn't save the new meeting in the agenda on today's date. I forgot that I need to change the date. It's the new
Okay.
meeting though.
John, did you say the attachments are current with the meeting notice for today? Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
they are. They just look like they're not.
Okay.
My fault. And then I thought if I send out another email, I just want to make sure that it wasn't too. So the notes are from last week, and then the agenda is today's.
And the press release is from November 20th.
Oh, that's I don't think your meeting invite updated properly. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna send an update, and it should update your thing because those attachments should have gotten taken out. I don't know why not. So
Hey, Marcel, I got a chance to take a look at Minor Street, but I didn't look at 16th Street. Have you had a chance to take a peek at it?
No,
Okay.
I haven't seen it. As far as the barriers in between.
Or just whatever 16th Street may even look like. I don't know whether anything's been done there. I've only had a chance to really look at Minor.
Yeah, so far so good, you know. So far so good.
Yeah, and Andy, on the weekend, on 103, both eastbound and westbound on-ramps were blocked off. Created some interesting Colorado Boulevard traffic.
I bet. This was on Sunday, you said?
It was on the weekend. I'm not sure what day. I don't recall.
So the what had what blocked off?
Both on ramps onto I-70 off of 103 were both closed
Oh,
one of the days of the weekend. So it kind of forced a lot of traffic to both the east and the west end of town.
Yep. Was the 239 ramp open? Do you know?
That I don't know.
Okay.
Nobody better make fun of my hair. I've had a hat on and I took it off for the meeting and my hair's all. I've been out doing public works work.
I can attest to that. You've been all over the place today, Mayor.
I didn't see Randy. Where you at, Randy?
I was on a supply run all morning and just got back into town about an hour ago.
And I saw Glenda out walking around down there. Doing
Yeah,
something.
I had her on the phone. She was kind of surveying Minor Street for me before I got on the call, since I hadn't really been there personally, and I wanted to at least get a feel of what it looked like.
Yeah. What does she think?
She thinks it looks like a construction zone, which it does.
Well, wait, when we remove all the barricades, it's going to look different. I mean, it'll still look construction-y. And
Yeah.
a couple of things is, what I would like to do is like, if Josh, we talked about this before, on the inside of the wall, if kids are sitting out there, I think you ought to have chalk and just let them draw on the inside of that thing. Outside, people would be in the street, so that's not a good idea. I'm also going to ask CEDA, I don't think they're going to allow us. I talked about maybe getting somebody that does murals and come down and just maybe one per block or something to center to a mural. I'm not sure they'll let us do that. If not, they won't let us do that. The next thing that I'd like to do is maybe take some gray paint and just paint them on that outside so they look uniform and clean.
Well, and again, I haven't looked at them personally. I only got Glenda's recount of it, but maybe it'd be nice if we could put, garland and wreaths, in certain ways, anything to make it look festive.
Absolutely. All right, it's after 2:00. John, I haven't seen the agenda. I'm sorry, I've been out running around all morning. You want to share an agenda with us real quick?
Yeah, Mayor, I've got to log off this meeting and go to an Economic Development Corp meeting. Andy, can I just send that to you? I don't know if you have it in your invite there or.
Let's see. Just pulling it up now, John. Let's see. I think I have it. Yep.
We do know what we want to do first is go around the table, talk about this weekend. How was your business? What were you seeing? What do you see that's working and may not be working that we might want to consider changing up a little bit? Let's start with Randy. Dave, you're new.
Hang on just a second.
Hang on. Let me just share the agenda real quick, Mayor. Can you see it now?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. I got it. You can remove it. Dave, who are you with?
I am an Idaho Springs resident.
Okay.
Moved here a couple weeks ago and just excited to see how I can help out. Been working in data and operations for consumer tech companies like Uber and Bird Scooters for a while. So just excited to see if there's anywhere I can help out.
All right. Thanks, Greg. Yeah, Gabe, thank you. All right, let's start out with, let's go, Randy.
Yeah, obviously business dropped off a little bit because it was Thanksgiving last weekend. So we dropped around 20-25%. And I'm positive about the fact that we're relatively flat compared to last year.
Okay.
During this past week.
All right, thanks. Before we continue on, we've got Dr. Ryan on with us. Dr. Ryan, do you want to go ahead and give us an update before we get too far into it, in case you have something and somewhere else to be?
Sure, I'm actually simultaneously on another Zoom call on my phone. Currently, we stand where we stood last week. We had 46 new cases in the past 2 weeks, 22 alone in the last week. Our 2-week positivity rate still above 10 at 10.36. We are testing regularly on Mondays in Dumont, on Wednesdays in Idaho Springs with the curative crew. Last week, we tested in excess of 200 people, which does not include the teachers at the high school that we're now testing twice a week. So lots of testing going on. Cases obviously coming from that. We're just beginning to see the results of everybody's super fun activities on Thanksgiving and all the family and friends that they decided to embrace. So we will see how that plays out here in the next week or two. And hopefully we have some change in what we're seeing right now. Actively moving forward on the vaccine. The other Zoom call I'm on is that active planning with a number of players in the county, anticipating our first doses here in about 3 weeks or so.
Okay. So we're hanging in level red, pretty good. The school kids went back today, middle school and high school. And you said that the teachers were, since we got a survey that looked like over 60% of our teachers or staff were going to be intermingling with family members outside of their household. Did the teachers and staff get tested before we started school back up?
Yeah, they were tested last week on Friday, still pending those results. And then we've tested them again today, and then we'll test them on Thursdays as opposed to Fridays so that we can get hopefully results back on Sunday before school starts on Mondays.
All right. All right. Anybody have any questions they want to put out to Dr. Ryan? And is there any information that we need to be gathering from the PhD? All right. You got it easy today, Dr.
I
Ryan.
have a question just about the possible 5-star rating for restaurants. What's the status on that? Is that a myth? Are counties being threatened with, losing funds? How's that playing out so far?
What I can tell you is currently, obviously, many of you have heard Mesa County has a program that they've been implementing for several months now. All it really is a agreement between businesses and the county saying that you will follow best practice and guidance regarding COVID. And there is an inspection process along with that. Mesa County has not produced any data that the public health directors have seen anyway. The state has received some data, but 30% of their cases, they can't determine where that individual got the virus from. And one of their measurements is customer satisfaction as far as whether the program is a success. Customer satisfaction has next to nothing to do with public health, but it is one measure they used. The state is currently reviewing the data from Mesa County. The governor is intent on rolling a similar statewide program out. It is not going to happen in the very near term. Most likely timeline is in February or so, primarily because of the numbers that we're seeing across the state. It's CDPHE's opinion and the governor's opinion right now. It makes zero sense to roll something like this out. If we do roll it out and you guys are filling your restaurants back up, one unfortunate unintended consequence is you might be blamed for a subsequent increase in cases that would normally have happened, but otherwise be blamed on you because you're the only element that's changed. Those sorts of variables and others are being considered right now by the state. I know the state has received letters from different counties and different organizations around counties and the likes, and they are in the process of sort of processing all that and taking all that into consideration to come out with their rulings. Some of the caveats to it, obviously a program like this is labor intensive. It would require staff and funding. For the state to come out with some sort of mandate or program without funding makes zero sense. Right now, I don't have any staff to implement a program such as this. I think a program like this makes great sense. It's really not terribly different from your general restaurant inspection and things as a restaurant owner you should be doing anyway. And so that's basically where the program's at. I wouldn't expect anything in the near term on this. I know the 18th is the final date that they're going to be collecting information and data on it. So I wouldn't expect anything soon.
Okay. I've answered a couple of surveys through the Restaurant Association related to the 5-star rating. And I mean, outside of, what I'm doing already with measuring temperatures of my employees and of course, following guidelines, is there anything you recommend we do to, kind of make that a little bit more of an easier thing for us to embrace as a community?
Yeah, I'll be completely honest with you guys. What the restaurants are doing in terms of best practices and guidelines are absolutely fantastic, and you're doing a great job at them. Really, where all of the risk lies is when 2 folks or 3 folks walk into your restaurant, sit down at a table together. They don't live together. They're now 3 feet apart because of the table they're at, and they're sitting there for 45 minutes to an hour and a half, or however long it takes them to eat and drink their meal. One of those folks walked in with COVID, and now 3 people walk out with COVID just from that interaction alone. We know that masks and social distancing are the key elements to preventing the spread of disease. And when you get in a situation like that, where you're now 3 feet apart and you're not wearing a mask for the majority of the time that you're interacting, really opens the door to the spread of the virus. So yeah, that's where the challenge is. And that's where there's nothing I can say to a restaurant other than putting plexiglass up between 3 patrons at a single table who came in together but don't live together. I'm not sure what the risk of those
patrons.
Pardon?
Isn't that the risk of those patrons? Like we're trying to forego letting so many people go without income for the month. Not what people do when they go out to eat. I can't stop them from doing that.
Yes, but from a public health perspective, what we tried to do, and this isn't my ruling, I'm just sharing with you what the state has decided. From a public health perspective, we try to prevent those sorts of things. That's why seatbelts are mandatory. Yes, there's a segment of the population that won't wear a seatbelt, and that's a problem. But to sort of enforce what we know is best practice, there's a seatbelt law that requires you to wear a seatbelt, because not everybody is enough wherewithal to make that decision on their own. But no, I agree with you, Andrew.
Sorry, I didn't just jump.
It's a balance between public health and economics of this whole thing, right?
Right.
And right now, restaurants and bars, from a retail perspective, are the 2 places of highest risk for disease transmission. Unlike where I go into a retail store, I might be in there 15 minutes. I have my mask on the entire time. I'm not really hanging out with anyone else. I'm moving around the store, and then I'm out. That's a very different risk and very different exposure than sitting in a bar or restaurant, whatever, for 45 minutes without your mask on while you eat and drink.
Do you guys have any of the data that proves that it's coming from restaurants and bars?
Nothing proves anything. Part of the challenge, as you might imagine, Andrew, is when we call a case and we ask them, try to get to the bottom of where they may have gotten it from, a lot of people are less than helpful. So unless I can directly link into someone's brain and find out exactly where they've been, honestly, it makes it data collection makes it quite difficult when you have people like that who don't really want to tell you anything about what they did or where they've been. It makes it difficult to discern. And this is why 30% of the cases in Mesa County alone, they have no idea where the people got it from, probably for that very reason. People are less than helpful.
Okay, and then any chance after the 18th that they're going to let counties make up their own mind on whether they should stay in red or not? Or are we still being potentially punished by the state if we don't follow the mandate?
The color designation is made by the state, and I just got off a call with the state. Basically, if our number drops below 350 per 100,000, we are no longer in the red. And we sustain that for a 2-week period. A single dip below 350 is not a trend. It's a single incident, and that's not a trend. So they're looking at a 2-week trend below 350 to get us out of the red.
Okay, so it doesn't matter county by county. It's only going by the data of the entire state.
No, it's going by the data of our county. So when Clear Creek County goes below 350 cases per 100,000 for a 2-week period, that's when I call the state and I say, can you please move us to orange?
Oh.
If I call before that happens, the state's going to hang up. They're not going to entertain my call at all.
Sorry, and we don't have 100,000. So what is that? What is our cap right now?
It's a ratio. We don't have to have 100. Yeah, we don't have to have 100,000 for that to be relevant.
Yeah. And we're over that, obviously.
Yeah, we're currently almost at 500 per 100,000. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Andrew, for all the questions and the asks there. Appreciate you being on the call today. We missed you. Anybody else need or want to ask Dr. Ryan anything else to clarify or suggestions or what ifs even?
One thing I would recommend to you all, I would fill out any and all surveys you're given. Give your honest opinion of what will work from a programmatic perspective, so that when the program is implemented, and I don't really have a clear timeline on that it's implemented well. That's the single most important thing from my perspective, is that they get feedback from you folks, so that the program they do come out with isn't designed by bureaucrats. It's designed by restaurant owners and the likes, so that what they come up with will actually work from an implementation and a functional perspective from the restaurants.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ryan. Thanks for keeping us updated with all the information that is probably changing every couple of hours on us. So we really appreciate you. Last chance to ask Dr. Ryan any questions. All right. Let's move back to our roundtable. Thank you, Dr. Ryan, for being with us again today. Steve, what did you see this weekend?
Obviously nice weather. We did as well as you can do with 5-6 tables. We pretty much had to wait all day, Saturday and Sunday for those tables. So we're excited to get these barriers up on our side of the building over here and put some more tables out there. The highway seems to be kind of problematic with the traffic being cut down at different times for one way. It's like even today it took people over an hour to get here from Evergreen.
We knew that, just to speak on that for a second, Steve, I have been banging on CDOT's back. Ramp closures on and off ramps. I believe that the off ramp into downtown was westbound was closed yesterday, starting like at 10 or 11 o'clock. And then, of course, like you said, that traffic was sometimes it was a standstill for 15 minutes. Then it would start moving a little bit. We knew that that CDOT was going to do this. I know they're really trying to push the effort to get this project done. We know they're behind, and they're doing everything they can to, especially with the good weather we've been having, to get that thing paved out and get out of here. We just need them to finish up in our parking lot, finish up on the highway, and let's get past that. So very frustrated with CDOT. Like I said, they're behind on their scheduling. The
status on the parking lots, are they do you have any idea when they're going to finish up behind the
Marcel? They hadn't even started back there with the sanitary.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. And believe me, Andy will verify that I called, especially they called and asked if we wanted to have a meeting. I said, absolutely. We've got to have this meeting because you need to know how Idaho Springs feels about this. So I'm doing the best I can. Our hands are kind of tied. I would like to think they're going to be out there in the next couple of weeks, right before for Christmas, but we won't have that parking area paved. There's no way that the temperatures are going to allow us to pave and restripe that area. Yeah. A couple of things that affects us negatively is even when it's open and there's no stripes, we know we lose parking over no stripes. We don't know how long the no seating inside is going to last. So we feel that even with the loss of parking, that we'll be able to get through the next several weeks, without indoor seating. So I am working on that as hard as I can. My hands are kind of tied. I can throw the fit, and I think that I get some movement. One thing, fortunately, that came out of the parking lot not being done, I leveraged that to get these barriers. The barriers were going to cost us about $23,000 to $25,000 to get if we had to rent them for 6 months. So I was able to leverage them not being out of our parking lot to get these for free. So, something came out of it good anyway, that we saved 23 grand not having to rent barriers. So it is what it is. Let's see. Are y'all not, John Kane, You're gonna have to do something about my microphone on this computer because it's not working right.
Okay.
Terry said that can anybody else hear me? I'm trying to get right up on it, if you can tell. So, okay. Let's see, who else? Sadie?
Yeah, so we similar to what Randy stated, I think we did see the dip finally on the weekend from people kind of less Denver visitors, still a lot of tourists. But again, I think we saw significantly less metro area people coming up the mountain. We are starting to see ski traffic, people taking advantage of the appointment skiing. And they seem to definitely be rared and ready to support small businesses. So there's a lot of movement in that area, but it's definitely, I think Linda will echo, during the week, it's pretty much a ghost town. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it seems to pick up a little bit. But again, that's mostly tourists from out of state.
Okay. Still having some problems with people wanting to come in without masks, not knowing about our mandate and from out of
Yeah, I mean, I think more it's the question of why can't we eat inside? And, we hear more than anything is, oh, well, our city and county doesn't do masks. And I'm like, well, you're where we are and we do. So,
okay.
People are, doing the best they can to follow the policies. I think it's just about being willing to educate everybody that comes through your door, and most people are willing to respond to that education with kindness.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Sadie, for giving us an update. Chip, you know how you did this weekend? I saw a lot of people in and out with to-go boxes. Probably most of you, you're probably doing pretty good with the to-go stuff.
We're down considerably from what we normally would do if we were open, obviously. I'm amazed at how much we are doing with people sitting outside on the patio, but yeah, the vast majority of our business is in to-goes.
Okay, thanks, Chip. I did see some people sitting out behind on the mall, behind your restaurant, along with Marcel's today. Let's see, let's get one more update from a business. Lindsay from the deli.
Hey, everyone. We were actually really pleased with how we did over the weekend. Saturdays have been better than Sundays over the last few weeks, but definitely seeing that ski traffic. For the most part, everyone's been really compliant with their masks and whatnot. We had one woman come in that, when we told her, pulled a sweater up over her face. So, I mean, it is, yeah, we try to get them to take it seriously. But for the most part, everyone is really compliant. And yeah, the numbers on the weekends are definitely better than, what we could hope for given the circumstances. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is still just really rough. So that's about all I got.
Right. Thank you, Lindsay. And Andrew hasn't been with us. Just let's hear about what Smoking Yard is doing. I usually give an update about what my business did over the week. Andrew, kind of give us an update, what you're seeing, how's it going, and what can we do? You saw us out there, and I was trying to get over to talk to you this morning downtown while you were down there. Do you see the need and maybe some barriers to put behind those parking places by your building so you can activate some tables out there? Or how can we help? What is it that you might be needing, or any ideas that you might have for the rest of us?
As long as the weather's nice, it seems like our town's going to have a lot of people stopping through still. It doesn't seem like it's going to alter that unless you're, running. We are lucky enough to have something that's really fast and easy for people to pick up and go. We did have the code, I always forget his name, the code enforcer guy came by and said our tables out front on the sidewalk may not be ADA compliant. So I guess my question would be could we block off some of our diagonal spots with tables?
Well, that's what I was asking. Are you talking about the diagonal spots right there? Yeah, we have,
right.
Unfortunately, Andrew, we all have to make sure that we're complying with the ADA thing. We have to do
Right.
it down also. And that's what I was wondering, those diagonal spaces, if you want to activate that, I need to get on to try to, what I would like to do is get some barriers to put behind those so that there's some blockage that somebody's not going to slide or something and come in and hurt somebody. So if you
Okay.
want, I want to get down there with you and measure that and see how I can get some more Jersey barriers to place behind those parking places. Absolutely.
Yeah, we would love that. We don't need that many. We have a little spot. We have some spots in our main lot we would sacrifice as well.
So what do you think? Maybe 30 feet?
I feel like I just need to know what the rule is with the sidewalk. It has to be 4 feet from the table to the end of the sidewalk.
You got to leave a 4-foot clearance through there.
Okay.
And then for Bill, that rides on the wheelchair. If he's on there, he's got to be able to, we don't want him to come by there and call the state and say, we've got a restaurant, I'm ADA and they're not complying. And then them come out there. And we've all heard about these lawyers that work with ADA people that are handicapped and look for places that aren't being compliant with their business. Then they try to sue them. So we're just really trying to be careful not to get you and smoking yards into any hot water and just make sure that we're compliant. That's what that was about. And if you notice, you go downtown, all those tables are snug up against those buildings pretty tight just to try to keep that 4-foot walkway on the sidewalks downtown as well. So let's get together and see those barriers are about 10 feet long. If you think that 30 feet would work, I will find and make sure that we get 3 barriers to bring down there to you.
Okay, I will go measure it out here today.
Okay, thanks, Andrew. All right, and let's jump into, since we're already 30 minutes in, we have been downtown laying Jersey barriers. I think it's gonna work out pretty well. We've already had people like in front of Main Street. Josh had his employees out there clearing the ice out of that space. I think that everybody's getting excited. Now, we'll tell you that it does look right now like a big construction zone. I think that will kind of ease up a little bit when we move all the barricades at the end of the blocks. It'll still have the Jersey barriers. And then I'm going to talk to CDOT to see if they will allow that, if we know people that are artists that could paint some cool little murals on a few of those down, a couple or 3 per block or something. I think that would be cool. And we could get some, or even a high school kid that is very talented, with artwork to do. If not, what I would like to do is at least try to get some gray spray paint and go down and try to at least put a light coat on all those so it looks somewhat uniform down there. I've already been talking to Steve Indris. He's got some ideas, and Josh has got some ideas about being able to put things on top of those barriers. There are some, if you haven't seen Jersey barriers, they have these little loops that hook in together. They hook in together and then you drop a pin in them. Well, those hooks, we're not going to be putting pins in. So actually somebody could get a pole and put a flag or something on it. So, carry out curbside and put it in there and actually, hang a sign down there or a flag. So, all these are those creative ideas that we all want to hear and that we can tag on to and say, hey, that's cool. I think I want to do that too. So,
right away, I would say throw some Christmas stuff on it right now.
Sorry?
I'm sure everyone has some Christmas stuff they're not using inside. Just light them up.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's decorate it up, make it look cool. I encourage everybody downtown to pitch in and try to make that happen. I would hear from Greg, but Greg, as you know, is going to be closed through the middle of the month. Let's see. All right. What was the next item on the list, John? John Kane? Oh, he had to jump onto another meeting. Andy, you're on mute, Andy.
Yeah, let me pull it up now.
So as you know, the school is doing the playground. You want to give us a quick update on that, Carla, real quick?
Sure. We are trying to get the contract signed. We had the contractor that we are planning on contracting with, their office had 14 out of 18 office employees come down with COVID. a couple weeks ago, so they were a little out of pocket while we were wrapping up our final engineering drawings. So it sort of worked out, I guess. But we are real close. We are talking to council tonight at the work session. That's tonight, right? And about the alley between the library and the playground there. But otherwise, we should have our final numbers and the contract signed hopefully tomorrow or early this week. And they are looking at getting out here as soon as possible. They're anxious to be working, and we are anxious to get them out there before it freezes up and we can't actually dig. So that's where we are.
All right. Thank you, Carla. Alyssa from the county, our recovery manager. You want to give us a heads up of what's going on with the grants and where we're at and what we have been talking about moving forward? Alyssa. All right. Alyssa, hopefully she'll get back with us. Real quick, Cameron, you want to give us an update of what's going on over at the football field at Gold Digger Field?
Yes, I'm happy to give an update. Just needed to shut my door so I could take my mask off. So I hope you guys have all been up to date on what's happening with the ice rink. We have been approved by our board to move forward with setting up a rink down at Digger Field. And so this past weekend, we started the process of building a platform that the rink will go on top of. We're incredibly excited about this, and I could go on and on and on about all the benefits that we think this is going to bring to our town. But instead of doing that, I'm going to be respectful of all of your time. I'm going to pass it off to Sam so she can introduce our idea of how we can use this rink to help support the local businesses in town.
Thank you, Cameron. Sam, you're on mute, Sam.
Thank you. Andy, am I able to share my screen? Yes.
Yes.
All right. So I just want to show you all the plans that we drew up at the beginning of this. And you can see we kind of have some food trucks and tables here. We're not quite sure how soon we'll move ahead on the idea of having tables and food trucks down there. It might be closer to the spring that we're realistically able to do that because of the COVID restrictions. However, we do want to just put the idea out there to the restaurants that we want to figure out a way that we can be advertising the local restaurants and setting up some kind of a delivery service. We're also talking to Get Mountain Express to see if we can work with them. But we're kind of looking at the idea of trying to have an incentive that when people book their session, they could go ahead and order food. With the idea that the food either be delivered at the end of their session or that they go and pick up the food from the relevant restaurants. We're also currently looking at right now doing kind of a grand opening, which is a little tricky to do, but we'd love to work with the restaurants for that grand opening weekend and maybe throw the idea out there that some of you might be interested. If someone comes in with an ice rink ticket, they would get a discount at the restaurant on that grand opening weekend. So we're open to suggestions. We just want to be able to, we think this will be a great way to bring more people in to the community, especially the downtown area. And really just looking forward to working with all the local businesses and provide support however we can.
All right. Thank you, Sam. There was some question, whenever, I don't know, Andy relayed it to me about food trucks being down there, and these would be food trucks that aren't part of our community, outside of the community, and we've had conversation about that before, that all of a sudden we're allowing food trucks that would come in and take any business, if they sell one hot dog out of that place, that could potentially be taken away from our businesses that are trying to survive. But I think that what came out of that is that you're looking at maybe just doing advertising instead of bringing food trucks in. Is that correct, Sam?
Right. Well, but the idea really with the food trucks, and I know maybe that's not the right term, but we would want the restaurants from Clay Creek County to be down there. It's not, we wouldn't, especially this year, be planning on trying to advertise to businesses outside of the county. And that's why I'm saying we're not really sure how that would work right now because most people aren't set up that way. And also, I think public health is a little concerned on those tables, so we're really not moving forward with those food trucks, and we definitely aren't looking for outside of the county restaurants. Sorry.
Okay, great. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for Sam?
Who's actually doing this? I kind of missed who's actually doing this. And just to let you guys, we're actually going to have a food truck that's going to be available here in another couple of weeks.
So it is the Clay Creek Rec Center that's doing this.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's awesome that you guys are going to have a food truck. We definitely, if it's an idea we can move forward with, we definitely want to look at it maybe February, March, of having trucks down there.
Yeah, we might be able to help you out on that. So, thank you.
Right. Any other questions for Sam or Cameron?
Something I'd like to just throw out while we have everybody together is that, we're really wanting to move forward with trying to figure out how we can pull everybody together and make this as beneficial as it can be. And so aside from this meeting, I'm not exactly sure what the best way would be, if we should just plan a time to connect with each restaurant individually, if that would probably be the easiest way to move forward.
Can you join these meetings in the future? Like when you have proposals, kind of just jump on. I feel like we've all got used to being here at 2 o'clock on Mondays. It works for me.
Yep. I think that would be good. Thanks for that, Marcel. Marcel's going to run for mayor next year.
No, I am not.
He's got my vote.
No, I don't live here.
We'll move here.
We'll find you a place. All right. Well, thanks for the update, Cameron and Sam. We appreciate that. We're very excited about this. I was actually down in Old Arvada, and they have a small. It wasn't. I'm sure it's not to the state of the art that this is going to be, but they, in a small space, they had 10 or 12 people out there skating around and doing their thing. So it was pretty cool. I think this is going to be a great draw to the community and great for us. All right, let's see. We talked about the outdoor seating. It's going along. Anybody have any other ideas? Steve was out there this morning. I saw Greg out there this morning. Josh was out there with us walking around and talking to us. Is there any other thing that we may need to talk about as we're finishing up the Jersey barriers?
I'm going to need 2 more of those barriers. It looks like they stopped short of doing my whole section. I don't know if they ran out or.
They had another load to go pick up.
Okay, good. All right.
I think they got 12 or 14 more that they have access to. So that should finish you up and Moose, and well, I think we should be good to go. Good to go. All right. Let's see. Anything, Alyssa, are you back with us? She might be in that.
I'm here. Sorry.
All right, Alyssa, you want to give us an update where we're at with the grants, where we're at with the second round?
Yeah, so right now, the second round is open until roughly the 16th. At this very moment, it is only open to restaurants, but we will be expanding that pretty soon. We're just trying to finalize the eligibility requirements.
Alyssa,
and as soon as we know, I will let people know.
Now, Alyssa, is that restaurants that didn't apply the second time?
Correct. Yep,
So-
restaurants that did not receive funding in the first round.
And then I know that the county is going to look at once that deadline's gone by. We're expecting there still be some money that will open it up for a full round again. Is that correct?
It depends because we're also doing a round for civic institutions. So it kind of depends on how much money the nonprofit community needs as well.
Anybody have any questions for Alyssa? All right.
Hang on, Mayor Mike, one more thing. If your restaurant did not receive one of our winter survival toolkits, these include masks, hand sanitizer, thermometers, social distancing floor stickers, and then some information on how to keep your employees and customers safe.
please let me know. They're free to you. You just have to pick them up at the Resource Center in Idaho Springs. So if you have not received this yet, we want to get them to you. So just reach out to me and let me know.
Right, cool. Thank you, Alyssa. All right. I'm just going to kind of throw it out there, open it up for a roundtable. Let's see, does anybody pick up and start a conversation?
Is the stuff that the state approved last week, Polis, I guess, is signing these bills. Does anybody know specifically what were in those bills and how it will benefit us?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about this. We don't have specific details yet, but we do know that this is not CARES dollars, which is great for both us and for the business owners. There won't be as many stipulations, we're hoping. I believe that this money is going to be coming in 2021. The state has reached out to the county to help administer these grants, and they know that we're kind of tapped out for 2020 for the remainder of this month. So I believe that that money will be coming at the beginning of 2021. We don't have any information on what the eligibility requirements looks like and amounts, but coming soon.
I also heard something about some money coming out for furloughed employees. Luckily enough, I run a pretty small staff, so I didn't lose anyone, but I know there's a lot of servers out there that are all of a sudden out of a job before Christmas. Besides this money, which I'm not sure how you're going to give it out, is there anything that the restaurants can do to help out to these people that might not even have enough money for Christmas this year?
So one thing with that, Andrew, is the city is receiving money for citizens that kind of like we did our first round. Now this is more of to help for rent. I mean, you can look at it, you can read between the lines. This money is for helping you get food and help you pay rent and things like that. Depending on how you shake your money out, that would actually help them. If they were able to pay some of their bills, that would hopefully free up a little bit of money for their families. So that's coming out. Andy, do you know when that other 85,000 is supposed to be here, and when we're going to start that program?
Oh, we're going to be starting it up this week, Mayor.
Okay.
So I think applications will be accepted here very shortly.
Yep, and the county's doing something for the rest of the county, kind of the same. And how much does the county have, Alyssa?
So the program that we have right now with the $50,000 is actually for anybody, and we should probably talk to make sure that we're communicating on that. But our program covers rent and mortgage, essential transportation, mental health for people who are either underinsured or uninsured, utilities that are not covered by state programs. So gas and water, internet, we're considering a utility, childcare, and pre-K. So some of those essential financial responsibilities that people have. As the mayor said, we're hoping to be able to free up some of those financial obligations so that people can hopefully have a Christmas without stress.
And we the city have a meeting every Monday morning at 9 o'clock, and we talk about this. How are we going to provide and help our citizens in our communities and folks and families that are less fortunate and have lost their jobs and don't have any income? And just as you said, Andrew, we have a lot of wait staff that depend on those tips. That's how they make a living. The wage, it's the tips they're living mostly off of. And we're trying everything. Andy, and our program's going to roll out when?
It'll start in the next couple of days. I know that John's just putting the finishing touches on it, and so it'll be very similar to the program we ran in the spring.
So keep an eye on that, Andrew. And if you have employees that are having a rough patch, tell them to go on our website. There'll be a little short application on there. Basically, all the city is doing is verifying that you're a resident of the city of Idaho Springs. That's what this money will go for, is for the citizens here. Anything else? Real quick, Cassandra, do you have an update from our tourism board?
Good afternoon. No new updates right now, just still working on the Santa sacks and stockings and to-go programs for the businesses in the county.
Okay, thank you, Cassandra. And also, Andrew, another help that usually every year needs help is our Santa shop. So maybe if you want to reach out to Joni Albers, she may have some ideas of if they need some help over there.
The Santa shop?
It's a Santa shop. The advocates in the county do that every year. And they're always taking some donations for, this is for less fortunate families that can come in and do some shopping for their kids and get some gifts and things. So I would reach out to Joni Albers with the advocates.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Andrew. Carla?
This is a question for, oh, did we lose Cameron? Cameron, are you still there?
No, looks like she bailed. Her and
No, yes, her camera's off. But I'm wondering if they've discussed a marketing blitz of some sort to announce to the Denver residents that we do have the ice skating rink coming, and or when it comes, if there's sort of a public Clear Creek message that can get out there to invite people safely to our community, for restaurants and for the rink.
Cameron?
She must not be listening.
Probably just left her camera on.
But something to think about for all of us to, how, whoever's on there.
Cass left also. I was going to ask her if she's having a conversation.
I can text him.
Brandy, do you have any updates from our chamber? No? Okay. Terry Bolin, do you have anything for us from the medical side?
Just echoing what Dr. Tim Ryan says, and it's kind of a disappointment that we're not able to kind of relay that public health is here to protect people, and that sometimes I'm seeing how Dr. Tim Ryan is coming under all this heat that how is it that this is happening and why are we blaming the restaurants, and I can see that side too. And please everybody understand, Tim Ryan's on our side. He wants to stimulate the economy here. He wants people to survive and thrive. And I have a new practice. This is brand new. I don't think I've had $5,000 in 12 months. So please understand, we're all struggling. We're all trying to work together. We're not, nobody wants to target any particular business. We just want people to be healthy. And, early in this epidemic, in this pandemic, unfortunately, a lot of the public health people, directors and public health officials, they have people showing up at their homes, and there's death threats, and there's they're carrying guns to threaten these people, these families. So please understand, public health is not against you. So it's just frustrating. I'm glad I didn't apply for that job. People told me, you're new to this, you're back in this community, I grew up here, and you can apply to this new public health position. Aside from the fact it paid peanuts, I knew that I didn't want this kind of heat. So understand that Tim Ryan is doing an excellent job, so please support him. He supports you. It is a matter of trying to keep people healthy and safe and alive, and trying to balance the economics and the health. We don't have a fair balance right now, and so please just support Tim Ryan. He's the messenger. He's doing the best he can, and I think he's doing a fantastic job. That's all. I have a joke. Mayor Mike, I have a joke. You ready? You're on mute, Mayor Mike. What's the difference between in-laws? What's the difference between in-laws and outlaws?
Oh, I would hang out with my outlaws any day. I wouldn't hang out with in-laws.
That's it. Outlaws are wanted. Okay, you didn't hear that from me.
All right, we got about 5 minutes left. Anything else that we need to be talking about right now with the group? Any ideas as we move? We know that today's going to be nice weather. The next couple days are going to be nice weather, but I think by Friday it's going to start. The temperatures are going to start declining a little bit and turn a little bit colder and maybe get some winterish type mix. So we'll keep an eye on that. Dan from Evergreen National Bank, is there anything that you have an update for us? Okay. All right. Chip, anything? We usually don't hear Chip being quiet.
I don't really have anything at this point. Just to maybe send me an invite for the next meeting if it's going on.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot Dan doesn't have a microphone. I'm sorry. Okay.
Hey, Mike, one last thing, just kind of to reinforce, and we had some discussion on it. You know, getting the barriers to look good, getting downtown to look nice. We don't have any Christmas stuff up. So it'd be nice to find a way to get town look a little more festive.
Agreed. Okay, pass it around to your neighbors downtown. Thanks, everybody. We are still continually working on our parking deck, and that's moving along. Just a quick update. It's going to take some time because it has to go through an election, but I believe that the bid group is about ready in the very near future to bring that to the city of Idaho Springs and petition the Idaho Springs to rule on allowing a permit district to be formed. So I think that's very exciting as well. And we will keep you updated on the construction going on in the parking lots because I know how that's affecting everybody. I hate that we know that there's going to be a mud hole in our parking lot downtown, probably over the winter time, but we're resilient and we'll get through it. That's what I love about this community and this group. The resiliency and the effort and the partnership and the collaborative effort with everybody. I just can't say enough every meeting about how proud I am of this community. All right, 7 minutes early. Everybody go back to work. Andy, no. So thank you everybody for being here, and we'll see you on next Monday.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.